Hey guys, it's Scott from Let's Play Easy Mode, and today we're going to be doing another reaction video to the Halo story that took place in between the games of Halo 5 and Halo Infinite. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you're new here, then welcome to the channel. And if you're one of our regulars, then welcome back. Today we're going to be doing one more reaction video within the Halo universe. This actually kind of came recommended. It was a comment that I got on the Halo 5 playthrough. Somebody did recommend, hey, there's a ton of stuff, once again, that happened in between Halo 5 and Halo Infinite. Really key, important stuff to know that I'm not going to see in the game. And this is exactly what happened with Halo 4 going into Halo 5. There were a lot of things like the Didact dying and things like that that I just wouldn't have known. And so you guys have let me know in the comments that there are a lot of really awesome things that took place in between Halo 5 and Halo Infinite in the books, in the comics. Well, I have found a video that we're gonna react to today. It's about 25 minutes long, and it covers the Halo story. Everything that I need to know going into Halo Infinite. It's gonna fill me in on what happened between Halo 5 and now where we're going in Halo Infinite. I think it's gonna cover a lot of the book stuff and whatever, and I'm really excited to get into this with you guys today, and I hope you are as well. This really is the last thing I'm watching before we start Halo Infinite. As a matter of fact, I was gonna start Halo Infinite tonight, and got thinking about it, especially when I saw that comment a little while ago, and I thought, well, all these really cool things happened. I need to watch a video and get caught up. So that's what we're gonna do, and then who knows, maybe I'll just play Halo Infinite after. I'm really excited to get into that game with you guys. But before we do, I just wanna say, if you're excited for this video and you're having a good time with this Halo journey that we've been on, do me a favor and click like on this video, and also comment down below and let me know any of your thoughts about this video that we're gonna watch. And if there's anything that we missed today, then do me a favor and fill me in on the lore. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you would like to support the workings of Let's Play Easy Mode, as well as get access to more content, then make sure to hop on over to the Patreon page by going to this link right here. For $5 a month, you can get early release content. For $10 a month, you can get that plus exclusive content because we have games that we're playing on Patreon that you won't see here on regular YouTube. They're just for Patreon eyes only. But no matter what you sign up for, come hang out with us on Wednesday nights for our Patreon exclusive live stream. So much fun to hang out midweek as a community. Special thanks going out to this amazing list of names right here, our current list of patrons. Guys, thank you so much for your support. I love you very much, and I really appreciate you guys. If you're out there and you'd like to get shout outs in all the videos, as well as get access to all of these extra perks, then make sure to go on over and get signed up at Patreon today. All right, guys, without further ado, I still have some leftover popcorn because it was just last night that I did my Halo Wars 2 video that I recorded. So now we're gonna watch this whole thing about, you know, the lore that happens, I guess maybe after Halo Wars 2 or during the time of Halo Wars 2, but before Infinite. So I think the popcorn's still good. It's not bad. So without further ado, let's dive into the world of Halo. Well, okay, guys, here we go. We are getting ready to watch this video. Now, this is called Between the Games from Halo 5 to Infinite, Halo Infinite Primer. And I guess the game was about to come out about a month or so after this. So this was done by a channel called Halo Canon. A lot of you Halo fans probably know this channel. Special thanks again, all credit going to the channel Halo Canon. I mean, I doubt they'll ever see me do this, but honestly, just a special thank you to Halo Canon for going through the work to make this for us. To be able to kind of get caught up, because I honestly, I wouldn't have read the books, I wouldn't have known, and it sounds like there's some important things to know. So let's go ahead and dive into this. I will, as we've been doing lately, I will pause it if I have something substantial. I don't want to, you know, react over it and kind of compete with what's going on in the video, I'd rather pause and talk, and then, we'll play it. And again, this is only 25 minutes long, so this shouldn't take us that long. Let's go ahead and check it out. Popcorn really isn't that bad.
Canonites, we're a month away from the release of Halo Infinite. It's so close I can practically taste it, yet still so far off. But as part of my preparations for Infinite's release, today I wanted to provide a small timeline of events from the end of Halo 5 Guardians to the doorstep of Halo Infinite for anyone who may need. As such, we'll be covering materials from Halo Legacy of Onyx, Halo Bad Blood, Halo Wars 2, Halo Fractures, Halo Shadows of Reach, and Halo Divine Wind.
That much came out in between the games, and that's all considered canon, I guess. That's really something else. Because I actually asked this question before, and some of you guys talked about it, but I was wondering, I'm a big Star Wars fan, right? And for the longest time, there's been a debate on what's canon and what's not. Then Disney bought it and said, okay, the rest of it is just legends, it's not real, and everything from the Disney purchase on would be considered canon. And I just didn't know if that's kind of, if these Halo books are all considered absolute canon to the games, or just, kind of their own thing or whatever. So this is crazy. We have a game and we've got 5 books to go through. So let's do it.
October 28th, 2558. The rogue AI Cortana, or rather a remnant born of her rampant fragments, has taken control of several Forerunner constructs following her accessing of the Domain, a galaxy-spanning network once used by the Forerunners. After recruiting countless AI to her cause, Cortana unleashes her Guardian Custodes upon the unprepared galaxy.
Yep.
Attenuation pulses disable the majority of advanced technology on any planet unlucky enough to find a Guardian above it. Aerial vehicles and ships fall from the skies, communication is cut off, no one is safe. In one fell swoop, Cortana had conquered the Orion arm of the galaxy.
You guys let me know in the comments, just what he said, that wasn't like the original true Cortana, that the real, purest form of Cortana, at least I'll call it that, did in fact die in Halo 4, saving Master Chief. And that this was all those little rampant personalities that she had that she sent off at the end of Halo 4, that this was just one of those.
Minimal resistance remained, and humanity's best ship, the UNSC Infinity, was on the run. Just prior to Cortana's takeover, the Oni AI known as Black Box, or BB, had managed to figure out her plan. In preparation, BB made plans for the evacuation of Oni Commander Saren Osman and Fleet Admiral Terrence Hood with protection provided by Spartan Orzel. He then had himself and several other Oni AIs secured in a lockbox with explosives inside. This was delivered to Saren with the option to set the AI free or destroy them. Osman, Hood, and Orzel then depart for Rossback's world, a planet BB had kept off UNSC records in case a secret world were ever needed. The fate of BB and his fellow AIs remain unknown for now, though BB was seemingly used, or would be used, as the basis for the Butler personal AI at some point. But while a few worlds might have escaped the eyes of Cortana and her created, anywhere with a UNSC presence was almost a guaranteed target, including the massive shield world known as Trevelyan to humans and the Sarcophagus to Forerunners. A Guardian had been hidden away within the shield world, activated as Cortana was gathering her custodes. With the help of a Huragok or engineer named Prone to Drift, the joint species inhabitants of this shield world managed to deactivate the Guardian, then hide the massive shield world away within a slipspace bubble, just as the Forerunners had done eons ago. Though trapped in slipspace, the UNSC and Swords of Sanghelios personnel would be safe from Cortana, even if internal threats still remained. On the Forerunner shield world of Genesis, Fireteam Osiris had just rescued the legendary Blue Team from the clutches of Cortana, but were now overrun by Prometheans. With the help of 031 Exuberant Witness, they're able to open a slipspace portal back to Sanghelios, where they eventually manage to meet up with the Arbiter, Commander Sarah Palmer, and Dr. Catherine Halsey. Exuberant Witness remains on Genesis. After a brief reunion, the Spartans are informed that Halsey and Palmer had made contact with the Infinity, and that it would be arriving by the next day. The night is spent feasting and talking, the Chief and Arbiter even spending some time catching up.
That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. I during that meeting, I'm like, oh my word, you've got to give me Master Chief and Arbiter. Like, just the fact that those guys sat there and broke bread, man, that's awesome. That's so cool.
Once they returned to Infinity, Blue Team and most of Osiris were scheduled for immediate debrief, but Spartan Edward Buck was pulled aside by a surprise visitor. Oni Captain Veronica Dare, the love of his life, and his oftentimes boss. After some quality personal time with each other, Dare informs Buck why she's on the Infinity. She needs Buck to get Romeo, break Mickey out of prison, and use him to make contact with the United Rebel Front in the hopes that a partnership between them and the UNSC can be worked out.
Dude, that's some ODST stuff right there. Going back to all those names, that's so cool. She needs to get the remaster look like he did.
A few years before, after the death of the Rookie, Dutch's retirement, and Buck, Romeo, and Mickey had become Spartan
The death of the Rookie? That stinks.
4s, Mickey had betrayed them. Left emotionally vulnerable after the death of the Rookie, and upset about the UNSC sending them after human targets now, Mickey had been made susceptible to rebel points of view and was radicalized as a result. He was captured and arrested in the end, but it left Romeo and Buck in a bad place. Buck needed convincing, but he ultimately accepts the job. The next day, he and Dare depart Infinity in a slipspace-capable Condor, headed for the Ungoi homeworld of Balaho. Romeo had been stationed there to guard some UNSC diplomats. While the diplomats are regrettably killed by hostile Ungoi, Buck is able to rescue Romeo and extract him from the planet. From there, the group heads for Luna to recover Quick to Adjust, the Huragok Alpha 9 extracted from New Mombasa in 2552, also known as Virgil. To their horror, the artificial domes of the Luna colony had been shut down by a Guardian attenuation pulse, killing the colonists. Only thanks to the capability of the Huragok are a few Oni personnel within a secret facility able to survive. The group fight off a few invading Promethean soldiers, then collect Virgil and its handler, Sadie and Desha, before departing. After that, they head to their final recruitment destination, the Spartan 4 training facility where Mickey is locked up. Perhaps not unsurprisingly, the station has been taken over by its AI, Leonidas. The AI had knocked out the station commander, June A266, and kept the crew and personnel ignorant of the truth. However, Buck, Romeo, Veronica, and Virgil are able to take control of the station and break Mickey free before June wakes up. And to everyone's surprise, they run into Dutch and his wife Gretchen at the facility. Gretchen had been forced to retire after her leg was blown off, though the Spartan branch had offered a prosthetic leg should Gretchen enlist in the program. Naturally, they made an offer to Dutch too. Having both grown sick of civilian life, they accepted and have since become Spartan 4s. Reunited with their old friends, they joined Buck and crew, finally reuniting Alpha 9. The team assembled, Dare reveals the full details of their mission. A planet called Cassidy 3 has managed to avoid Cortana's attention. Once a failed UEG colony, the planet, at the time considered too distant and thus too expensive to travel to, was eventually stumbled upon by pirates and insurrectionists, who established a settlement called Hole in the Wall. Oni rediscovered this colony early in the Human Covenant War, and instead of leveraging it, kept it hidden and hid additional supplies there should humanity ever need a fallback plan. Now, Oni wants to find out if the Forerunner tech that has hidden Cassidy from Cortana's sight can be replicated to protect other colonies. Mickey then would need to act as a mediator between the UNSC and the rebels. Mickey isn't initially on board with the plan, reminding Veronica of how the UNSC had also offered a truce during the Human Covenant conflict, but went right back to mistreating insurrectionists post-war. However, Mickey does eventually come around, seeing the true threat Cortana poses. Arriving at Cassidy,
got her old
a meeting is arranged, and it
team
goes
back
about
together.
as well as one would expect. The insurrectionists don't see Cortana as their problem, and given how the UNSC had previously treated the rebel front, they have little reason to trust any word the UNSC gives. However, Mickey is able to convince the group that humans are easier to deal with than fascistic AI, and with reluctance, the rebels are open to cooperation. And none too soon, it would seem. After Hole in the Wall's mayor finishes explaining how the colony has been shielded, thanks to Forerunner subspace shenanigans of course, Sadie explains that Virgil had found strings of code for the AI Leonidas in Gretchen's armor. They find codes in Dutch's armor as well. The code is moved into a datapad, after which Leonidas reveals he's already contacted Cortana. Alpha 9 and the rebels scramble to prepare, but a Guardian soon appears, hitting the colony with its attenuation pulse and deploying Promethean soldiers to gather up the colonists. With the help of Virgil, Alpha 9 get their Condor working and escape the colony, though just barely. Some colonists are able to escape, and a few of the civilian ships the colony had, made functional again by Virgil, but the rest are forced to surrender to Cortana's rule. Returning to Infinity, Buck and Dare finally get married, and Buck once again takes up leadership of Alpha.
If you have been following this channel for any amount of time, you know that I am I'm a sap, and I love romance in the game. I love a good love story. And he just said, like, let's not overlook the fact that they just got married. Buck got married to Dare. That's so awesome. Oh my word, that is so awesome. If either one of them die, I'm gonna riot.
Alpha 9, including Mickey, to fight against the created threat. In the months to follow, Infinity would do its best to continue fighting against Cortana, her created, and the various Promethean forces at her disposal. Still, they would have to do so carefully, avoiding Cortana's direct attention as much as possible. At the same time, what was left of the UNSC and ONI continued to prepare for their eventual confrontation with Cortana. Part of these preparations would include Operations Breaker Trip, Wolf, and Kickstand. But while those operations were planned, Spartan of Fireteam Apollo is assigned by Captain Lasky himself to investigate the Guardian incident and the source of Cortana's state. The Spartan is given exclusive access to several interviews and analyses surrounding the AI, including a debrief of John 117 following the events of July 25th, 2552, and an interview with a captured Sanshayum prophet. The Sanshayum suggests Cortana might be infected with the Logic Plague, an ancient corruption once leveled against the Forerunners. In January of 2559, 3 months after the created uprising, the Spartan would additionally directly interview Commander Sarah Palmer. Palmer suggests that the unique circumstances of Cortana's creation might have led to the current situation, leading the Spartan to track down Dr. Catherine Halsey. Halsey provides an alternate motivation for Cortana's recent actions, the results of facing down her own mortality since her birth, and receiving a taste of eternity upon entering the domain. The Spartan's investigation ends soon after, with his findings reported to Captain Lasky for consideration. While the denizens of the galaxy dealt with the created uprising, other groups were moving in space beyond the galactic.
I wonder if this is going to be one of those things where I totally didn't have to watch 2.5 hours or whatever it was with Halo Wars 2, and I could have just watched this, and this would have been fine.
Grim. When Cortana unleashed her Guardians, a failsafe activated preventing travel to or from the Ark, the extragalactic forge of the Halo Rings. Set up years prior, the UNSC outposts and personnel on the Ark were left in the dark when their portal and lifeline back to Earth suddenly shut down. And their problems would only get worse from there. A month after contact with Earth was lost, a small fleet of Covenant-built ships appears, led by a massive CAS-class assault carrier, the Enduring Conviction. These ships belong to a group known as the Banished, a faction of mercenaries that began when their leader, Atriox, defied the Covenant and lived. Somehow, this group had found the coordinates to the Ark and taken the 8-month journey via standard subspace transit rather than using a portal. Upon arriving, this collection of Jiralhanae, Sangheili, Lekgolo, Kegyar, Ungoy, and even a few humans began wiping the UNSC forces from the Ark, taking control of the installation.
Humans?
For months, it seemed like the Banished had won, wiping out any opposition. However, at the end of March 2559, a new, or rather old, UNSC ship suddenly appeared over the Ark, the Spirit of Fire. Thought lost with all hands decades before, the ship had actually sacrificed its slipspace drive to stop the Covenant from securing a massive war fleet. Since then, it had been adrift in space, its crew in cryostasis, hopeful that they might one day be rescued. Now, however, something had transported the ship to the Ark. With no idea of their exact location and a mysterious signal detected from the installation below, the Spirit of Fire's captain, James Cutter, deploys Spartan 2 Red Team to investigate. There, the Spartans find a lone logistics AI, Isabel, and Atriox.
I liked Isabel.
Atriox makes short work of the Spartans, even completely incapacitating one of them. Returning to the ship, Isabel informs the crew of what's been happening on the Ark and who the Banished are. With no chance of escape, the Spirit of Fire prepares for war once more, intent on keeping the Forerunner secrets of the Ark out of banished hands. Initial operations are promising, but when the assault carrier Enduring Conviction focuses its attention on the Spirit, Cutter is forced to look for a new solution. The ship's xenoarchaeology expert, Professor Alan Anders, suggests using a halo ring to escape the Ark, returning them to UNSC space where they could call for help. Unfortunately, the plan would take a full 12 hours, and the Spirit of Fire had no hope of lasting that long. Instead, Isabel proposes a different plan, using a beam weapon on the Ark to disable the Enduring Conviction, allowing her to be escorted aboard by Spartan Jerome 092 to take the ship out. The plan is approved and goes off without a hitch. On board the carrier, Jerome fights off waves of Banished, while Isabel attracts the attention of the Ark's local defenses, the Sentinels. By attacking
that
the
was
Ark
a really
itself
cool
with the
scene.
ship's glassing beam, Isabel forces the Sentinels to take
amazing.
action, which they do by cutting the ship in half. With the Enduring Conviction eliminated, Spirit forces move to secure the newly launched Halo Ring, Installation 09, hoping to use it as a bridge back to the UNSC. Spirit forces are ultimately able to hold the ring, driving the Banished off it in extravagant fashion. However, they too are forced to evacuate the ring as it suddenly launches into slipspace with Anders aboard. Installation 09 departs for the Soel system to replace the long-destroyed Installation 04. Before arriving, however, the ring is intercepted by a Guardian Custode, forced out of slipspace mid-transit. Anders' fate remains unknown.
Oh, that was really cool.
Meanwhile,
That was a
on the
cool
Ark,
ending.
The fight against the Banished would continue. Just a month after Anders' departure, the Banished were found to have set up cloaking and defenses around a part of the Ark, trying to hide some operation from the Spirit of Fire. ODST team Sunray 1-1 are deployed to investigate, only to find the Banished have been using the Ark systems to grow a Forerunner ship that they plan to launch at the Spirit of Fire to destroy her. Luckily, the ODSTs are able to fight off the Banished forces and destroy the ship.
Yay, ODSTs.
Yet another month later, Atriox would deploy two of his lieutenants, the brothers Pavium and Vortis of the Longshield clan, to salvage ships surrounding the remains of High Charity. While Pavium had proven a reliable warrior, Vortis' eagerness to prove himself had backfired more than once, making this his potential last chance. Despite warnings from his brother, Vortis' nature would get the better of him. Approaching the wreckage of the former Holy City, Vortis cuts through the hardlight shield containing the space station and has his men begin looking around. Instead of salvage, these Jiralhanae...
I don't remember this. Oh, Halo 2 Awakening the Nightmare. It must have been some DLC in the game.
only find corruption and death. Weakened by the firing of Installation 08 7 years before, what remained of the Flood had been contained within High Charity. Now they were unleashed. Pavium and Vortis fought back as fiercely as possible, eventually managing to destroy the Flood's proto-gravemind and put an end to their threat. Arriving at the scene of their victory and failure, Atriox berates the Longshield brothers, ordering them to clean up their mess, then report to him. Originally intent on killing the brothers, Vortis' discovery of a semi-operational Forerunner entanglement dish spares their lives. If Vortis could get it working, Atriox would finally be able to contact his forces in the Milky Way. Further, a follow-up raid into High Charity would uncover access codes for the Anodyne Spirit, aka the Forerunner Dreadnought that had once resided within High Charity. Atriox organizes a raid on the Forerunner ship, hoping to access it and recover an artifact known as the Holy Light. In truth, 3 fragments of a Forerunner slipspace crystal, these would give Atriox his path back to the...
Now we're looking at a book again, and I just gotta say to this channel, Halo Canon, it really, they've done a very wonderful job here in putting all of this together, you know, like intertwining it so that it tells one solid chronological story all the way through this. And again, I'm very thankful for this channel for giving this to us as a gaming community and Halo fans. That's awesome.
Milky Way. The raid is ultimately a success, but a costly one. Not only are banished forces lost during the operation, but they accidentally awaken an unknown threat, the Covenant. It would seem that a contingent of Covenant forces that had traveled to the Ark with the Prophet of Truth had remained within the Dreadnought, awaiting divine transcendence. Now aware of the banished presence and wanting to escape the Ark themselves, this last vestige of the true Covenant emerge from their hold and prepare to wage war once more. With the slipspace shards in hand and a working Forerunner entanglement dish, Atriox contacts his former mentor and the one he left in charge of the banished while he was at the Ark, Escharum. He informs Escharum of his way to return to the galaxy and orders 3 banished clans to begin searching the human colony world of Reach. Hidden on the planet, the Portal Under the Mountain, as it was called, would be Atriox's route back to the Milky Way.
Wow.
However, as he prepared things on his end, the Covenant attacked, hoping to take back the Holy Light.
Back to Reach.
While Atriox defended the portal site on the Ark, the Banished deployed 3 clans to Reach to find the portal under the mountain. The Legion of the Corpse Moon, the Ravaged Tusks, and the Keepers of the One Freedom. The Keepers were a Geralhane-led Covenant splinter group that still believed in the Great Journey, while also allowing humans into their ranks. For more than 2 months, these clans searched for the portal to no avail.
Shadows of
All the
Reach.
while, only the Keepers seemed to truly be searching, the Ravaged Tusks and Legion mostly fighting for control of the few resources the planet still held, such as those brought by rehabilitation pioneers hoping to reclaim Reach. However, in October 2559, a year after Cortana had taken control of the galaxy, the UNSC Infinity launched Operation Wolf. Sending the 4 Spartans of Blue Team to Reach, now outfitted with the latest Gen 3 Mjolnir armor, the Spartans were to dig their way into the remains of Castle Base and access Dr. Halsey's lab. There, they would retrieve 3 cryobins, containers meant to hold and preserve organic tissue, and a 4th item sealed into a locked sword base container. With the Banished operating on Reach, Blue Team's mission was anything but smooth. The Spartans were eventually forced to request reinforcements from the Infinity to stage a full takeback of Reach in order to complete their mission, which they are ultimately able to do. The Banished were equally successful, discovering their portal under the mountain beneath what remained of the Menakite Mountain, the mountain that also once held Castle Base. Upon activating the portal, Atriox and several of his lieutenants come through in a lich, finally return to the galaxy. Wanting to visit the final home of their gods, the Keepers of the One Freedom, led by a Geralhane named Castor, board the Lich and depart for the Ark. There, they will finally start the Great Journey.
Okay.
They are additionally joined by a former assassin of the Silent Shadow, Inslan Gadogai. The Sangheili had been ordered to watch over Castor by Atriox himself. During a final moment of confrontation, when ordered to cut Castor down, 4 of the Keeper's human members had locked their guns on Gadogai. His only chance in that situation to survive had been to join the Keepers.
Hey, you know a guy? Yeah, I got a guy.
The UNSC and Banished both depart from Reach, their fighting having attracted the attention of Cortana and her guardians. One step in the fight against Cortana had been completed, but many more remained. Meanwhile, the Keepers of the One Freedom find themselves thrust into battle on the Ark between the Banished forces under the command of Let Valir and the Covenant Remnant under the command of a Sanshayun Prelate, an augmented warrior capable of fighting Sangheili and Spartans. Upon meeting, the Covenant Remnant were uneasy with, even hostile towards, the Keepers of the One Freedom. Despite their shared goal of activating the Halo Array, the Remnant still held to the belief that humans were unclean heretics. An uneasy alliance was only achieved thanks to the sudden appearance of an Oracle. Known as Intrepid Eye, this Archeon-class Ancilla was originally from the human colony of Gao and had been recovered by the UNSC for analysis. In that time, she had manipulated the UNSC and Keepers towards her own goal, making humanity worthy of the mantle of responsibility by any means necessary. After repeated failures and almost being destroyed, Intrepid Eye had decided that the galaxy needed to be wiped clean once again, after which she'd use the facilities on the Ark to make a human race worthy of the mantle. And to do that, she would use the faith of these 2 factions to her advantage. Unknown to Intrepid Eye, the Keepers, or the Covenant, there were 4 people present to stop them: Veda Lopez and her Ferret Squad. A former detective also from the planet Gao.
Those are some weird looking helmets right there. It looks like Master Chief. Like, look at it. It looks like Master Chief, but like if Master Chief's helmet had a receding hairline. You know, like it has nothing to do with his hair, but it looks like Master Chief is going bald. That's what it looks like. Like it's not one of those mullets. It's like a skullet, you know, like it's gonna start going anyway. It looks like a Spartan with a receding hairline on their helmet anyway.
After working together with Spartan 3's Mark G313, Olivia G291, and Ash G099, Veda became something of a mother figure to them and joined Oni to ensure that they would be treated well and cared for. 2 years prior, the team, who had previously thwarted the plans of Castor and Intrepid Eye on a couple occasions, infiltrated the Keepers to eliminate them once and for all. Veda and her team do all that they can to sabotage the Keepers and Covenant efforts without being caught, but they are eventually exposed by Intrepid Eye and forced to escape. They meet up with forces from the Spirit of Fire and are able to solicit help in stopping the Keepers and Covenant.
Spirit of Fire.
Veda provides coordinates for a drop-off point the Keepers and Covenant were planning to use to gather some additional firepower, hoping to stop them there. The Spirit successfully eliminates several Seraph fighters, but they turn out to be banished forces that had also been tricked. The drop-off was a misdirect. Luckily, Veda and her ferrets are able to catch up with the Keepers, though are unable to stop them.
It's beautiful artwork.
Instead, Veda plans to let herself be captured so she can plant a beacon in the Citadel, the location from which the Halo array would be activated, for the Spirit of Fire to aim its Mac gun at. Afterwards, she simply has faith that her ferrets will save her. Ultimately, they are successful, though it comes as a close call. The Spirit of Fire begins firing while everyone is still in the Citadel, and they just barely escape, though so do the Prelate, Caster, and Gato Guy. Unfortunately, Mark G313 would lose his life during the mission, his neck snapped by the Prelate. Though Caster and Inslon Gato Guy escaped, they were now the last of the Keepers, and Caster now knew that the Halos were merely weapons, not holy relics. Finally, meeting with Captain Cutter of the Spirit of Fire, Veda fills him in on her story while also hearing about the spirits. While threats remained, together they would be able to overcome whatever came their way. Meanwhile, near the wreckage of the Citadel, Pavium and Vortis emerged from the battle. The pair had been tracking the Keepers and Covenant, hoping to stop them and earn back some level of respect among the Banished. Though they had ultimately been useless in stopping the Halo threat, no one who mattered had survived to contradict any story the brothers chose to report to Let Valir.
Man, these are some big-looking
From there,
brutes.
the story gets a little hazy as we enter territory that has not been formally revealed yet. There's much to discover between October of 2559, the setting of Shadows of Reach and Divine Wind, and the start of Halo Infinite in May of 2560. Still, we do have some clues. In the months following Operation Wolf, Dr. Halsey created a new smart AI known only as the weapon to counter Cortana. By installing her on an installation somewhere on Zeta Halo, the weapon could imitate Cortana, luring the Galactic Overlord into a trap. After she was locked down, the weapon would automatically terminate, and the Chief would return Cortana to Infinity for deletion. However, around December 13th of 2559, the UNSC were operating on Halo Installation 07, Zeta Halo, when they were suddenly ambushed by the Banished. The conflict left the UNSC devastated and with limited operational capacity. Zeta Halo 2 would suffer extensive damage. On the ring's surface, surviving forces begin resisting the Banished occupiers, waiting, hoping for something to turn the tide.
Whoa.
And there we have it, everything from the rise of Cortana to the defeat of the UNSC at Zeta Halo, or at least as much as we know about this time period as of the making of this video. Hopefully you all found this useful in getting caught up on Halo's story after Halo 5. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, stick around for the Patreon shoutout, and until next time, this has been Halo Canon.
Wow, well, thank you, Halo
First,
Canon.
I'd like to give a big...
Well, okay, guys, that's going to do it for this episode, and that was really cool. That was super informative, and now I'm, like, really ready to get into Halo Infinite. That was a lot of lore to digest, and I'm probably going to go back over some of that again, but as of right now, Halsey, they even mentioned this, Halsey built a mechanical arm, it looks like, and she also has created another AI that's supposed to be kind of like Cortana, and hopefully being like Cortana lures Cortana in, and I guess with the idea of capturing Cortana, bringing her back to the Infinity, and they want to do that for deletion. I mean, ultimately, I wish they could just have some sort of reset with Cortana and bring her back the way she was, but who knows? Master Chief might need this new AI instead and make friends with someone new. I do know a lot of you guys have mentioned in the comments that I don't know if this has been an official release from 343, but basically that 343 is kind of done making Halo games. Now, I don't know if this is just for a time. Look, Halo's a big money maker. No one's ever really going to be, this is a money-making business. No one's ever really going to be done with it if it's still going to put cash in their wallet. But it sounds like artistically, they got, based on what I'm hearing from some people, and everybody seems to have a different take on it, so I'd be curious to actually read about 343 and their take on it. But a lot of people have said that they stopped making Halo games because Halo fans got too whiny about 4 and 5, and they just said, okay, fine, it's yours, we're done with it, we hate Halo now. And a lot of folks said that it was due to layoffs, that it was just more practical things is why they're not doing more Halo stuff right now. So I don't know. I'd like to look into that for myself, but I have a feeling that at least, if not permanently, at least for a while, Halo Infinite is going to have to wrap all of this up, this whole Halo journey, and that's what I'm really hoping for. I'm hoping for an ending that if this is the last Halo game, that we can all walk away from. I mean, you guys have already been through it. That I can walk away from and go, okay, I've spent the last year of my life in this world, and I'm okay with this now. In some ways, I'm thankful that I haven't had the history with it that other people have. Like, I played them when they first came out, and I got super attached to Cortana. Because I think if I had had a 20-year attachment to Chief and Cortana, oh my gosh, I can't even. You thought I got mad or just disappointed and upset? Not really mad, just sad. Over Cortana turning villainous. Like, I mean, can you imagine? I can't even imagine. Yes, you can imagine. You were there for it. The idea of having her be a part of your life as a fictional character for 20 years, and then that happens. Oh my word, that would be like Luke Skywalker completely selling out to the dark side. I have heard a lot of people say that Halo Infinite kind of goes and turns some things around, and I'm really anxious to see what happens with the character of Cortana and her relationship with Master Chief coming up. And I'm so excited that after I'm done editing this video, I'm going to take the Halo Infinite game that I have already downloaded to my Xbox console, and I am going to start my Halo Infinite journey. And it really is the last chapter of this overall Halo experience that we've had for the last year. Hope you guys are excited for that as well. If you are, do me a favor and click like on this video and let me know down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Anything else you want to add to the lore that we've watched? I'd love to hear from you guys. Subscribe to the channel for more content, and of course you can hang out with us at Discord. The link for that is down below. Come support the channel and get more content at Patreon by going to this link right here. Guys, I love you so much. I am gonna go reset, and then when I'm ready to, I'm done editing and resetting and grabbing something fresh for a snack and a cold drink, I'm coming back and I am gonna start my Halo Infinite journey, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. But until then, take it easy.
Searching for greatness.